Okay, I think we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, it's just kind of this right now, but I wanted to do something different, and that is ranking my top Spotify albums. So these are all albums that I liked on Spotify, and we are going to be ranking them. There is no bad album on this list. Here we go. So the Beatles 1 is what we're starting out with. This record oh, sorry, it's late. This record introduced me to the Beatles, so it's definitely one of my favorites, and which is why I have it liked, because it is one of my favorite albums ever. Now, for greatest hits record, I definitely thought about not counting it, because, compilation album, whatever, doesn't count. But because it introduced me to the Beatles, I'm going to put it in A tier. It has many good songs on it, so, of course, there is that necessity. Sorry, I just got chat set up, so it's been taking me a while. Okay, next, Abbey Road. Abbey Road, this is a good album. Everyone knows this album. S tier, obviously, great songs, best Beatles album by far. It's gotta be my favorite from them. Interpol Antics, this is their most popular record. It has Evil, it has Come Here. Come Here is one of, a really important song to me. And Antics, it's a pretty good album, but I feel like there are some songs on side A that miss. Side B is perfection music peak, but side A is forgettable music. Slow Hands is overrated. I'm putting Interpol Antics in B, even though the record is freaking great. I love it, but there are things about it I hate. Then we have The Black Parade. The Black Parade I listened to very recently, and I really like MCR. Embarrassing as that is, I love My Chemical Romance. And I think The Black Parade is probably an A tier album above 1. I would put it in S, but it's not perfect, really, fuck it, I'll put it in S. The Black Parade is one of the most influential albums ever. When people think emo albums, they think Collide with the Sky and Black Parade. Those are the two most notable emo albums. Next we have Radiohead, The Bends. The Bends, this is a really good record. Really solid. Put it in B tier. It has Just. It has High and Dry. It has Fake Plastic Trees. It has a lot of really good songs on it. It's just personally not my favorite from them, especially because Radiohead has other albums In Rainbows, Kid A, OK Computer, yada yada. Demon Days. This used to be one of my favorite albums for a really long time. I still love it. I still love Demon Days. Demon Days is great. Everyone should listen to it. I think it's one of the best albums ever. A tier. Dookie by Green Day. I used to love Green Day so much. They used to be one of my favorite bands for a while. And of course everyone gets out of that phase. This is their best album. It's not peak music or anything, but it's their best by far. I think Dookie is like as close as perfection as you can get in the pop punk world. But then again, it does have its problems. It's not perfect. It's not bad either. I'll put it in high B, because it's like almost A, like almost at really, really good, but it's not exactly my thing. Next we have Will Wood and the Tapeworms, Everything Is a Lot. This is one of my favorite albums ever, because the way Will Wood puts his anger into jazz music, it's one of the most creative things. Something I've like never ever heard before. And it just works so well with his vocals and his piano. It's like everything he puts into the music like comes out so well, and the themes of the album are so dark but also so like, it's hard to describe, but it's like such an amazing album. This is like his second best record by far. I'm putting it in A tier. It's amazing. Next we have El Pintor by Interpol. Now this album I might have it liked. It's definitely not their best. Not by a long shot. They have a million records that are better. Or some. El Pintor is very good. But it has some sleeper songs. Like some songs that aren't great. Some songs that are slow. Some songs that are boring. Yada, yada, yada. So I think it's good, but not like great. I'll put it at the bottom of B tier. Okay, now here we're going into a completely different genre. Fugazi and Hits. This is one of the best punk, hardcore, whatever you want to call it, albums I've ever heard in my life. There's other Fugazi material in here that's like way better, but End Hits goes in A tier. This is Fugazi doesn't have a single bad album. They're great. So, a few weeks ago, I listened to this self-titled Franz Ferdinand record, and I think it's actually, like, really solid. It has a ton of good songs, has the hit Take Me Out, it has Jacqueline, which is one of, like, the best songs on it, probably the best song on it, and I think it's very decent. However, there are a lot of parts in the middle that make me just want to like fall asleep. So I'm putting it in B tier, but like high B tier, top of B tier. Next, we have the legendary Fear of Music. A lot of people really love Fear of Music. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, Ezimbra, there are a lot of songs on Fear of Music, like Ezimbra, Cities, just to name a few. And Fear of Music, I cannot say it is a bad album. I cannot say it's an amazing, like, life-changing album either. Fear of Music, a lot of people really love it, and I get that it's like a great album and all, but it is not like peak Talking Heads. We'll get into Talking Heads peak later down the list, but Fear of Music is their third best, so I'll put it right below Franz Ferdinand in B tier. Oh, here's one that I love to death. Yes, Fever to Tell. This album is angry, chaotic. It feels like the entire time, it feels like you're like in an inner city and you're like sitting in an alley, and this song is like a soundtrack of all the stuff that's happening around you. Like, it sounds like there's a bar fight and like hookers around the corner. It's pure chaos, and then there's just like maps right in the middle of it. This album is like, holy crap, it's so good. I'm S. I love this album. Okay. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Next we have Gorillaz self-titled. I re-listened to this yesterday, I think, or maybe 2 days ago. This is a very solid record. I think the way it uses trip hop. This got me into trip hop, by the way. We'll talk more about trip hop in a minute, but this album has done so much, and it's a really super good album. I'm putting it at the top of B. There's a lot at the top of B, but like A is like its special spot. Igor. Okay, okay, I don't think I need to talk about Igor. It's just good music. Igor is like Tyler's best work, and for that, it like deserves its spot. I think I accidentally left out Flower Boy on here. I'm not sure if I have Flower Boy liked, but Flower Boy, it would be in A tier or B tier. Okay, In Rainbows. This is I think this is Radiohead's 7th? I'm not too sure. I think, well, whatever. It's infamous. It's huge. In Rainbows has many songs on it that make me want to sleep, but many songs on it that are like so well crafted and put together. It's acquired for sure. The slower songs, you just need to kind of get used to that with Radiohead. But I think this album is bottom A tier, because I don't think it deserves to be with B tier, but I think it's still very good, Body Snatchers is my favorite song on the record. It's freaking great. Then we have Fugazi, In on the Kill Taker. This is my least favorite from them, but it's still amazing. I'm putting it in B tier, probably above El Pintor. Interpol self-titled. Now, this album has Try It On, which is one of the best Interpol songs, no doubt, but it also has Safe Without, which every Interpol fan knows that's like one of the worst songs they've made. It has like this certain atmosphere to it, like it's reverberated. It sounds like you're in like a dark hallway or something. And I'm not a huge fan of the sound. I think it has some great songs and some forgettable songs. And it's probably going to be the lowest rated on here at C tier. But I still really like it. I love it. No, I don't love it. But I really like it. But it's not for a lot of people. And I get that. Only a true Interpol fan can like it on the ways I do. But it's a C tier record. I think everyone knows that. I enjoy it, but it's their most like mid, besides from Marauder. Marauder is awful. I hate that album. It's like the huge Interpol fan that I am. I hate Marauder so much. Okay, we got a ton of easy S's lined up. The Strokes, Is This It? This is their first record. Every song on it is amazing. Probably 10 out of 10. S tier, amazing, beautiful stuff. Radiohead, Kid A. I listened to this 2 days ago, and I am obsessed. I already played the game. I'm like stunned by its magnificence, and I think it's the easiest 10 out of 10 I've ever given a record in my life. It is that good. Now, on first listen, it sounds wacky. It sounds wrong. But then you listen to it again, and it's like amazing, perfect, beautiful S tier. Then we have Massive Attack Mezzanine. This is the other trip hop album I was talking about. And I think it's really good. I love it. My favorite song is Rising Sun, and I think there are definitely some super long songs on here and some super slow ones, but I do not care all too much. I think it is a very good album. It deserves the praise that it gets from people who like it. I'm putting it in the A tier. Because it's not going with B tier stuff. Okay, this one's gonna be really hard to talk about. I used to love this album. It used to be my favorite Will Wood album. Now it's just kind of like, yeah, it's out there. So the normal album has a ton of amazing songs on it, but looking back on it, it is not as perfect as I originally thought it was. It's great, but, and of course, it's his third out of fourth best, and honestly, it is like great, but it's not as mind-blowing as his other records, specifically his first two. And I think the normal album is a good change of pace, but it's not the angry jazz that we came into Will Wood with. I mean, he switches it up perfectly. You know, he does it in a very good fashion. But I think it is not as enjoyable as him being angry. Now, you could have imagined what my reaction was to his new record that I listened to last year. I think it's still good. All of Will Wood's albums are good. They just get worse for the third and fourth. Normal album used to be an S for me. Now it's more of a B above Fear of Music. Okay, Computer. Okay, Our Love to Admire by Interpol. Some fans would consider this their C tier album, their first C. I actually love this album. It was my first Interpol album, and honestly, I think it's pretty brilliant. I love how they incorporate more instruments like piano, more strings. I think it's a very good album that deserved its recognition that it did. And for that, I'm putting it at the second spot in B tier. Even though I love it, it's not going anywhere above. Plastic Beach. This is my favorite Gorillaz album. And it is like kick-ass, you know. It's like their most mind-blowing, extremely good records that they have. And I think that Plastic Beach is probably one of the best albums ever made. I'm a little bit biased right now because I'm not focusing on Gorillaz as I used to. But mark my words, this is an S tier album. This is a great album. Red Medicine. Okay, so this is Red Medicine by Fugazi. This album is pretty much perfect. And it's just like, wow, this album is freaking amazing. Blah, blah, blah. And I think it's probably just as good as their other works. But like, no, I take that back. It's like, excels. Like, when I listened to it, I was listening to the whole Fugazi discography one night. And this was like, hold on. I was listening to the whole discography, and I just finished In on the Kill Taker. And I'm like, okay, that's alright. Then I listened to this, and it was a million times better. So good. Easy S. Remain in Light. I feel like this is self-explanatory. It has amazing songs, amazing tracks. It's classic. S tier. Fugazi Repeater. This is seen as their best album. It's amazing. It's great. S tier. Also, all the albums in S tier I recommend you listen to. Maybe all the albums on here in general. But that depends. Next we have Revolver. Revolver is the Beatles. I'm trying to count. Okay, it was Beatles. Wait, no, what came after? Let me do. Wait, no, what was the first album? Okay, whatever. The first album Please Me. Wait, where was it? Please Me. Yeah, just do their first album, and their second album with the Beatles, I think. And then it was Beatles for Sale or something, and then Help. This is probably their fifth album. I might be getting that wrong. Nope, they're sixth. I'm dumb. Big dumb. Wait, no, they're seventh. It's their seventh. God damn, why'd they make so many albums? Ugh, it's their seventh. It's their seventh. And their third best? Throw it in B tier. We have a lot of B tiers here. But just so you know, B tier means good. Okay, B tier is like decent, strong. Okay, let me rename this. 10, 9, 8, 6. I'll do like 6, 7. You know. The Strokes' Room on Fire. This is their second album, and it's really good. Not as good as this, in my opinion. A lot of people think they're like on the same plane, but they're not. Selfish by Will Wood. This is easily their best record. I have it on vinyl. I actually have a lot of these albums on vinyl. I'm a crazy maniac. I still need to get my Radioheads on vinyl. And this is amazing. It's very short, which is fine, but the songs. The songs. It goes from freaking Mr. Capgrass, 2012, Cotard Solution. Has amazing songs with 5 names, freaking Dr. Sunshine. I'm listing every single song on the album now. Because I think I forgot to mention Hand Me My Shovel. To 10. All the songs on it are good. Song Machine by Gorillaz is an album with a ton of loose bangers. A ton of bangers that, like, you know, they this album doesn't have a theme, which I love. It's not set to one genre. Every single song is different, which makes it very good. I think it's above normal album. I love it when the 8s and the 10s have the same amount. Okay, Speaking in Tongues. This was a really good record. When I was listening to it, I thought it sounded like the Mario 64 sound font, because everyone goes crazy about those. And I really like it. I really enjoy it. I'm putting it in 9. Lemon Demon Spirit Phone. People freaking love this album. I think it's pretty good. I want it on vinyl someday. I think the... Oh, man. I think the vinyl variant's really good. I think the album's pretty good. I think Spirit Phone has, like, some great hits. They're in your face. They're great. So, I'll put it in an 8. I dig it. It's pretty good. Goes above the normal album. Outkast Stankonia. This is the only hip-hop album, like rap album, that I've listened to in full. I think it's very long. But I think it's very good. Stankonia is very good. I still have to listen to their other works, because right now I'm just getting into the hip-hop genre. And, you know, it's a good genre. I want to listen to more hip-hop. I want to listen to more and more. And I thought I'd start with Outkast. Next, I'm listening to Ready to Die. So, yeah, I'm very excited, looking forward to that. I'm going to put this in high 10. 10. People would get mad at me if I put it in a 9. Next, we have Fugazi, Say You Died of Nothing. Great tracks. but I feel like not all of them land. This album has its fans. I'm not one of them. I still love the record, all of Fugazi's stuff is good, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Above In on the Gold Digger. MCR, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. It's just as good as Black Parade. 10. Speaking of 10, Pearl Jam 10. This album is rather you love it or you hate it, because although I do love this album, it is definitely Dad's Ford freaking conservative album. Like, yeah, it definitely sounds like dad rock, like even flow, and yeah, oh no, is it over there? It's definitely an acquired taste, but I think it is great. I'm kind of torn. It's a 9. My favorite song is Once. This album, The Argument by Fugazi, is an album that I like, and it is my favorite Fugazi record. And judging from what I said about the other Fugazi records, with them being amazing, if this is my favorite, okay, The Now Now by Gorillaz. This used to be my favorite album from them. This used to be like one of my favorite albums ever. But after getting into a lot more music, it's different, Better than Interpol Self-Titled, but it's a snooze for sure. Still very good, but not something that I'd listen to all the time. It's short, but it makes me sleep. Speaking of sleep, it's already getting a hold on me. Damn, huh? Okay, this one's gonna be fun to talk about. This is the outlier in everything. Time Out by the Dave Brubeck Quartet. This is one of the best jazz albums I've ever heard in my life. I discovered it because I play jazz, and my teacher showed us this album, a little bit of the album, or like a Dave Brubeck video, and I was very intrigued, so I went home and I listened to the album. I liked it a lot. I'd give it a high 9. Not above anything here, probably above Speaking in Tongues, but if you like jazz, listen to this freaking album. I don't have much to say about the new Abnormal. Has some slow tracks, a lot of very long songs, but it is definitely very experimental, very different. I'll put it in 9 at the about top of 8. It's very good album. The Other Side of Make Believe by Interpol. Anthony Fantano hates this album. I think it's their most dull, uninspiring. Shut up. This album's really good. He did not listen to Passenger. He listened to none of the songs on the album. And I think it's very, very, good. I think it's, their best album since Our Love to Admire. After Our Love to Admire, they went on kind of a fall-off. El Pentor was good. What album came after that? What album came after El Pentor? Was it Marauder? Because Marauder sucks. Yeah, it was Marauder, and it sucked. And then this came out, and it was like, oh, finally, they made another good album. So I'm gonna put it with TNA, above TNA, top of 8. Turn on the Bright Lights. I've praised about this album multiple times. It's amazing. It's great. We have another 10 from the get-go. Unknown Pleasures. And then we have Violator by Depeche Mode. I liked this album a lot. It's very good. Very good album. And then we have Wincing the Night Away by The Shins. I used to listen to this album in the car. I think it is very good and very relaxing music if you like it. My favorite song is Split Needles. I've liked it for a long time. Now we're gonna do some ordering. of it. So top of 10 for me would probably be Kid A, followed by OK Computer, followed by Turn on the Bright Lights. Turn on the Bright Lights is one of the most important albums ever for me. Then Is This It? Plastic Beach, Fever to Tell. Okay, Black Parade. Three Cheers. I'm gonna put The Argument above those two. We want to get Red Medicine, Remain in Light. Probably put that down at the bottom, but still 10. Still 10. Selfish. Gonna put that not above Turn on the Bright Lights. Not above Is This It? Put it next to Plastic Beach. Igor's there. Repeater's there. Maybe move it above. There we go. And then A tier, so definitely want to move some of these up. No, I think everything's in the right place there. 8 I already kind of assorted. And there's the list in exact order. There was one record that I did not include on this list that I have liked, and that is Cavetown by Cavetown. If you do not know who Cavetown is an indie creator by the name of Robin Skinner, and they happen to not like a certain group of European people. So I do not endorse their album on this ranking, and I do not listen to their music anymore, but I like the album, separate art from the artist and all that. It would probably go in 8 for me. Yeah. So there you go. There's the list, the final list. I'll just to make the video longer, I'll say every album going from top to bottom. Kid A by Radiohead, OK Computer by Radiohead, Turn on the Bright Lights by Interpol, The Strokes' Is This It? Actually, I might put Turn on the Bright Lights above OK Computer. Let's restart. Kid A by Radiohead, Turn on the Bright Lights by Interpol, OK Computer by Radiohead, Is This It by The Strokes, Plastic Beach by Gorillaz, Selfish by Will the Wood and the Tapeworms, Fever to Tell by Yeah Yeah Yeahs, The Argument by Fugazi, Welcome to the Black Parade. No, it's not called Welcome to the Black Parade. It's just called The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge by My Chemical Romance, Red Medicine by Fugazi, Remain in Light by Talking Heads, Repeater by Fugazi, Igor by Tyler the Creator, Stankonia by Outkast, Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division, and Abbey Road by the Beatles. Number 9, is Demon Days by Gorillaz, Everything Is a Lot by Will Wood and the Tapeworms, One by the Beatles, End Hits by Fugazi, In Rainbows by Radiohead, Mezzanine by Massive Attack, Room on Fire by The Strokes, Time Out by the Dave Brubeck Quartet, Speaking in Tongues by Talking Heads, 10 by Pearl Jam, Violator by Depeche Mode. That is all their 9s. 8s. The Other Side of Make Believe by Interpol, The New Abnormal by The Strokes, Gorillaz, self-titled, Our Love to Admire by Interpol, Franz Ferdinand, self-titled, Song Machine by Gorillaz, Spirit Phone by Lemon Demon, The Normal Album by Will Wood, Fear of Music by Talking Heads, Revolver by The Beatles, Dookie by Green Day, Antics by Interpol, The Bends by Radiohead, Steady Diet of Nothing by Fugazi, In on the Kill Taker by Fugazi, El Pintor by Interpol, and Wincing the Night Away by The Shins. That is all of our 8s. Now, moving on to our 2, 6, or 7 out of 10s. The Now Now by Gorillaz, and Self-Titled by Interpol. That is all of our albums. And now I think we're done. So, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.